Whether you're kink or vanilla, we all love good dick, right? Like we all want to be satisfied in the bedroom. You know that good dick is not enough. What we want as women and as people is to be loved and to be accepted and to be chosen. But you can't have those things if you don't.
It's the Kink Consultant Podcast, where we're turning up the heat on all things kink and dating, relationships, and pop culture. So close the door, plug in your headphones, and let's get down to it. Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Kink Consultant Podcast. I am joined by Kristen of New Badass You. We've met her before, and if you remember correctly, I hired Kristen as my coach because I may have had a tiny itsy bitsy problem with obsession. I would obsess over the new guy in my life. You've heard it on the podcast. The German, friends with benefits, who is definitely more than friends with benefits. I have been through it. What you might not understand is that pattern stopped about 1 month after I finished working with Kristen because she changed the way I dated. And it couldn't have happened at a better time because I just happened to meet someone I really cared about and I approached it with a different energy. I then became obsessed with Kristen. We are now friends. We have been in coaching groups together. We have helped build each other's businesses as we refer clients to each other and care so much and just share our knowledge widely. Kristen, welcome.
So excited.
Me too. Well, Kristen, basically the work you did was so defining for me. And I was like, oh, we need to team up and work together and do something. And you were like, oh, I know what we need to do.
Well, yeah. And you and I have talked about how the women in your space have the same problem as the women in my space. I mean, whether you're kink or vanilla, we all love good dick, right? Like we all want to be satisfied in the bedroom, but we lose ourselves so quickly because we're like, oh, somebody, you know, and I feel like so many women are like, I don't feel anything until I feel something. It's not every guy that I'm out like trying to bang. It's the one that lights that thing and hits that spot, not physically, energetically first. And you're like, yes. And then we get so excited and we go all the way in, whether it's for the possibility of kink and being satisfied there, or oh my god, this is going to be a great relationship, and then we get in bed with him and then it falls apart. And I see it over and over and over and over, and I've lived it over and over and over and over.
Same thing. I have lived it. I see it. I am embarrassed to admit, though, sometimes I think back on previous relationships and I'm like, what was I thinking? Because I don't feel that energy that you're describing. Like when you feel the energy and you're like, wow, yes, this is it. And now I'm just left with the memories of who the person was. And I'm like, what the fuck was going through my mind at the time?
What did I do? Yeah.
I'm thirsty and I feel that this like little drop of water I found was my oasis, or is an oasis.
It really goes to show like how emotions really don't define what's actually happening. They feel so fucking real, right? It's like we feel something and we're like, oh my God. But we lose ourselves so quickly. And I'll tell you, like the reason that my company came about is because the last time I slept with somebody that I actually liked, I lost myself so quickly and it was so intense for me. And it was reflected back to me so quickly. That feeling of like being used, being discarded was reflected back to me 15 minutes after this man finished and said, I made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to date anybody. I'm like, then why the fuck are we dating? And didn't you tell me this? And it hurt me to my fucking core. And I still have residual fallout from that. It's like you saying, like, you look back and you're like, what was going on? What was reflected back was, truthfully, every single place in my life that I was using and discarding myself. Because I didn't ask questions. I didn't ask intention. And I didn't speak my needs. And I didn't say what I wanted. And I threw away everything that I was so quickly to get in bed with this man because I was like, this is it. This is my person. No, it fucking wasn't. It was my pattern. Again, it hit me so hard. And that became the reason that this version of me stepped in and said, never a fucking again. When you claim that in your mind, and I think a lot of women might be there, that's who we're calling into this workshop. That's who I want to get my hands on, you girls. Like, come in, because when you claim that, it doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden a new version of yourself. You have to step into new energy. But claiming it is the first step. That claiming, like, I'm so fucking done with this pattern. I am so fucking done feeling used and discarded and being in situationships and feeling like, oh, well, it was good dick, but I know it's not enough. Like, you know that good dick is not enough. You know that you want more emotion. You know that you want a partner who's going to hold space for you.
Yes. The version for me is, oh, I know a dom is not enough. He can't just call himself a dom and be enough that I'm like falling over myself because I'm like, oh, this is the person.
The vanilla girls want the masculine guy, right? Like, we all want somebody who's gonna make us feel safe and, throw around these words like provided for and protected. In some capacity, like, play with that energy on your own and figure out what that means to you. But like, we get so excited that we see that potential and then we go all the way the fuck in. We gotta stop doing that. We gotta hold our own energy and our own ground and say like, hey, if you want that seat at the table, you gotta fucking earn it.
It's killing me a little bit because I'm like remembering the old
verses. I know.
Actually, the pre-Kristen version for me, right? I remember when I met my partner, I did meet him at a kink convention, and I was repeating things you told me while talking to him. Not repeating word for word what you were saying. I was keeping in mind things to be like, okay, here I am thinking about certain things. I am thinking a different way than I did before, and I need to hold that version of it before continuing this conversation, before dating him more.
And I want to say, like you said earlier, Kristen's the one who changed my dating life. You changed your dating life. I just helped you change your perspective. When we claim this version of us, a new version, whatever it is, you want to be the woman who makes money. You want to be the woman who gets a PhD. You want to be the woman who, I don't know, learns to cook. Pick the version of you that you're becoming. You claim it, and then the universe will be like, okay, here, I'm going to give you this little, can you handle it? You know? And like, I just happen to be the catalyst for you shifting. But Amanda, you shifted so quickly that you were like, holy shit, now I see things totally different. And you held that because you were ready to be different.
I was going to say, I was so ready. We talked about this in our first episode. I was so ready, but at first found your approach abrasive because I discovered you on Instagram. I found you so
Your
abrasive.
Message to me was like, I don't know if I like what you're fucking doing, but like something's pulling me in. And I was like, okay, well, welcome.
Yeah, I get
listen, it. Like, I'm telling you to let yourself obsess.
I'm going to hire you, but I don't believe you and I don't believe in you, but I can't stop thinking about you. So I'm going to hire you. Will you work with me even though I don't believe you? And you kind of were like, yeah, sure. And I love that you let me be that honest, right? Because
I think what I said to you, I go, well, you've been doing things the way that you quote unquote believe. I go, how's that going for you? And you were like, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I was already like, fuck going into it, but it's so true. And then you're right. I put myself in the position to meet people. Like I went to the places. I was going to the parties and the social events to put myself out there and meet people. I was even on the dating apps. But that perspective shift I was ready for it. I was thirsty for a dom or a partner in life, and then I was hungry for that shift in how I viewed it all, because you're right. My approach wasn't working. And you know what was especially hard? Being a relationship coach who felt that I kept fucking it up. That was like an ego.
Exactly, that imposter syndrome. I'm the same. Like, I have to really check myself sometimes because I'm like the anti-get over it coach. It's not that I don't want you to get over it. It's just that the messages of like forcing yourself to get the fuck over it. This is one of my taglines is like, when you force yourself to get the fuck over it, you're like releasing who you actually want to be. And so, but even sometimes I have to check myself because women will bring me stuff and I'm like, dude, get the fuck over it. Like, what are you doing? And then I'm like, hold on. She can't see it yet. Like, you know, so that imposter syndrome kicks in where I'm like, I'm not always even doing what I'm preaching.
No, wait, you really are the anti-get over it coach. It triggered me because I was like, what do you mean going to the gym and losing 10 pounds and making money isn't going to help me feel better and get over the guy? Because I was like, and yeah, that was your point. I was like, so how many times have you done that? And how did it work out for you? And
yeah.
Like, I ended up in the exact same situation over and over and
That's
over.
the thing. And I say this in my masterclass. I say, listen, you forcing yourself to get over somebody is going to work. You will get over them. You will stop thinking about them. You will stop obsessing. But what you've done is just push this version of you down that you actually want to be because you think, well, I can't be that version of me without them. Like, I need that person to choose me. The second somebody else comes along and activates that version of you, you're like, oh, now I'm obsessed with this person. Same loop, different fucking face.
The worst part about what you just said, though, is that, okay, yes, you end up obsessed with a new person, but it's not foolproof that you're over the other person you were obsessed with. I have had multiple obsessions. I met someone in my mid-20s.
Where you're in bed with one, thinking about another.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, you could or could not call it limerence, but like there have been times in my life where I think about this one person. I'm like, they were amazing. They were everything. oh, they're actually peak. That's what I'm trying to go after again, that type of person. And then I meet someone else and I was going through that obsession stage with them, but I never stopped also thinking the other person was the ideal. This is just a new ideal for now. And how messy is that?
It's so messy, you know, and it's so nuanced too. Like the human experience is messy. It'll never be black and white, but there's the version of me who had no idea what her energy was and how to navigate from a place of self. And that was really messy. And it's still messy, but at least I understand myself better. And I feel I am this version of me now that I'm like, yeah, life is messy and it's a little chaotic, but I'm not going to fucking settle. That's it. This workshop is like, this is the foundation of that. It's going to be a 2-day workshop. Kristen's day 1, Amanda's day 2. This is the foundation of it, is that we are going to put into place, how do I manage my freaking energy so that I don't lose myself when I meet somebody who gives me the tingles, who says they're a dom, who presents as masculine energy? Like, how do I not become a puddle of mush that just gets in bed with him or just starts fantasizing about our wedding?
As we talked about this 2-day workshop, essentially we just decided, I feel like we distilled down our core messages that we give to the women we work with. And we were like, we both talked about, well, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing. We talked about this.
It was the same shit.
It was the same type of person. It was like, oh, well, I have this type of client, this type of client, and this type of client. And even though it was kink versus non-kink sort of in our conversations, when we took that part level out, it was like, oh my gosh, these are the same women going after the same things. And you can insert those things a little bit, but the core woman was the same. And it was just sort of like, well, let's distill down how we help them. And I feel like that's what we focus so much on building when we work together, was like, okay, how are we helping these women and how can we give them the key to their own castle or their ability to do this for themselves?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And listen, this workshop is not for women who want to be in a sexually casual relationship. That's not what this is going to focus on, because if you're good at being sexually casual, fucking props to you. I'm proud of you. I can't do it. For the most part, I think what we want as women and as people is to be loved and to be accepted and to be chosen. But you can't have those things if you don't know where they are in your own body. Like, if you don't know how to locate the feeling of being chosen, which is your ability to choose yourself, how are you ever going to recognize that outside of you? You won't. You'll keep self-sabotaging and ending up being like, oh, I'm choosing myself. I'm going to have sex with this guy on the 3rd date and it's going to be great. That's not choosing yourself.
But even knowing it's the 3rd date, I'm going to do that. Like, that's a weird timeline that society, I think, put in place of like, oh, have sex on the 3rd date, which totally stops you from ever even thinking, do I feel I'm ready to have sex? You're not like looking in at any point to think, oh, how do I feel in my body? Yeah.
Yeah, do I actually feel safe with this person? Because I think we go into it with like this crazy, and Amanda and I came up with 3 people that we think this workshop is really good for. One is the quick sex Sally. That's me. I'm QSS all the way. I meet a guy, and if I'm attracted to him, the way he touches me, the way he looks at me, that chemistry, that compatibility in the beginning, that electricity, I'm like, let's fuck. When I feel that intensity and then sleep with somebody, my system goes so haywire. It will never work. It would never work because I've taken all of my eggs, metaphorically speaking, and put them in his basket. And I'm basically like, hey, you're responsible for my happiness now, sir. I like you so much that it's your problem.
Oh my gosh, that's like such a creepy, when you put it that way, you sound crazy. I relate to that part of like, oh, now you are responsible for my happiness because...
How bonkers is it to formulate that? And you're like, shit, I'm crazy.
Yeah. I only say that because I relate hard. I think that's what brings us together. I relate hard to that because equally I'm like, yes, I've met you and you are everything I'm supposed to want, or I think I want to be my life.
This idea of who you are, and now you have to be it or I'm going to be sad.
Why does it hurt so much?
It's like so cringe when you realize what you're doing, because it doesn't feel like you're doing that. It just feels like, I just love this person so much. You don't know them.
We have sex before we're ready. We jump in before we're ready for a bunch of different reasons. And I think that like we talk about that. Here are what the reasons are, and this is maybe what's going on.
And I think you said you were this other one, which they kind of coincide, but it's the chemistry catastrophe.
Oh,
like you feel chemistry me. And it's just like, oh.
Because I love love, I'm seeking
Savior.
Stop. Okay, it's not, it is Savior, but like it is Savior actually. I'm like, I always joke.
I was so curious what you're going to say.
I'm like, no, it is Savior. I always joke the title of my memoir, should I ever write one, is No One's Coming to Save You, because every advancement I've ever made in my life was when I just decided, like, well, it's all on me, pull up my socks and, like, go and do it, because no one is coming to save me. But I kept going into that pattern of someone will save me. And not only that, it was like I was a romance addict who had read too many romance novels, which I still love reading, but I was looking for that I love. Someone's going to come in and make it all better. And I dated that way, acting like someone was going to come in and make everything work for my life. Here's the thing. It was all going to make sense because they had chosen me and everything was going to be great. Like, my life all led up to this moment. I'm embarrassed saying this out loud because I'm like, I believed this subconsciously. I would never have said it out loud, but now I'm looking back at, like, the driving factor.
You didn't know that that's what was in there.
No.
To your point, like, I'm embarrassed to say this out loud. Do you know how many people are embarrassed to say it out loud? Like, I work with women who get really obsessed and stuck on one person. I was stuck on the same dude that I slept with 3 times within a 2-week period for 4 years because it hurt me so bad. But I had to allow myself to process that pain. But it doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. Your brain's doing a very natural thing, especially after you sleep with somebody. It wants to bond. Yeah. And the more orgasms you get, the better it feels, the more you're like, yes, forever.
But sometimes I wasn't even getting good orgasms from these situations. Like, it's that savior aspect of they were giving me something else. They looked good on, like, I felt like we looked hot together,
Yeah. Or they had that provider aspect to them.
Oh, yeah, because they had these, like, big... Do you know last night I was telling my partner something offhandedly that I was like, I dated 2 guys on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, not at the same time, just over a period of time. And I think that really highlights the type of wrong person for me I was going for, because I was just like, oh, they have this accolade. Obviously, this makes them a winner, which means I should want to be with them. And I'm not saying I want to be with a loser. I definitely don't. I also don't feel like I'm with a loser. But I was using these outside things as indicators of, like, yes, that's who I'm supposed to date. Mr. Forbes 30 under 30. Obviously, I was under 30 at the time, which I'm not now. But it was like an immature way of dating.
It's more, to me, what I hear is just, I don't know what to do with this energy, because it's not that you're wrong for thinking that. It's that title or that accolade, like, lights something up in you, and you have to know what to do with that.
But what? Okay, so, like, that's the question.
It gives you a feeling that you are associating with the wrong thing, but the feeling isn't wrong.
Yeah.
And this is what we do. This is why this workshop exists now. And also the last, if you're the independent woman, if you're that independent woman who's like, I don't need a man, but you want one, but you have this feeling of, like, nobody can match my energy, this workshop is also for you, because you need to find some fucking vulnerability in your life. But again, you have to be the women who are aware that you are at least the roadblock in your life. If you're like, men fucking suck and avoidance are the problem and I don't do anything wrong, please don't come. Please don't come. I love you. Please don't come. I will yell at you. That's why.
I am a testament to, like, you lovingly slapped me back to reality in our sessions together. And it was what I needed to hear. Yes, I recognize that. I'm like, I did need that. Some of that is, there's not a lot of difference actually in doming someone in the way you handle it. Because what I will say is this. There is something where I used to be a pro dom in a dungeon. You know this. But some of the sessions that I would consider strong, some of the things that I felt like, oh, this is extreme, those were the things people came back and talked to me about. They were like, oh, remember this? And you said this? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, I thought about that. You kind of kept slapping me out of fantasy life. You were like, you're in fantasy life. You're in fantasy life. You grabbed the rose-tinted glasses off of my face and stomped on them in front of me, right? But I needed that because I looked at them and I was like, oh, that. Yeah, actually, this is what I'm actually dealing with. That's the perfect way for me to put it, because I do feel that's what the sessions were like, but in a way that you paid attention, obviously. And I think that's what I was seeking. So your whole thing about being accountable and actually wanting to change, I was there. That's where I was, but you can't tell when
and
you're
you
the one
did
winning.
it.
Yes,
you did it. You were like, here, take them.
You made it easy.
I took so long to let somebody take my rose-colored glasses off, and I actually just had to do it myself. But, like, I get it, where you want to blame the outside world. I get it. It just will never serve you. It will never serve you. You will keep ending up in the same pattern, wondering why the same kind of people keep finding you, or the same type of relationship keeps finding you. Like, it will haunt you until you are ready to say, fuck, it's me. I mean, I have a podcast called Oh, It's Me. I'm the red flag. You've got to take accountability. And it's hard and it sucks, but, like, it's one of the most powerful things you'll ever do, to be like, I'm done living this. I no longer claim this reality.
I love,
I'm done
oh,
with
it's me. The independent woman. I don't think that was ever me because I always wanted to be in partnership and was not thinking, oh, I'm too strong. But I see that a lot. So that's why I think we both sort of grabbed onto this one. I see a lot of women who tell me, I can't find a man who can handle me. And that's the version I hear. And I think it's very similar to the independent woman who is saying, I don't need a man, on some level still want one. I think it's the same message of, oh, I'm just going to say I don't need one, or I can't find one who can handle me, because there's a fear under it of maybe no one actually can handle me. So if I just say it, oh, what I want doesn't exist.
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Maybe there is nobody out there who can handle me. Maybe that's true. It's the stories we write. And listen, the stories feel so real because they're just buried here. This is like a controversial topic nowadays, but like, I am a woman. Like, that's who I am. You couldn't talk me out of that. You couldn't argue. If somebody said that I wasn't that, I'd be like, well, that's kind of weird because I am. But
yes,
these stories that like that become the I am independent. That gets just as ingrained in us. Even if we don't want to be that, you have to change that underlying story because it will haunt you forever.
Changing the
if it's not aligned
story.
with what you want, if your belief is not aligned with what you want, if your I am is not aligned with what you want, you got to change the I am.
Now I'm coming back to it. That is what this workshop is about. Like, how do you even begin to change the story? And step one happens before you even come to the workshop. It's like recognizing you want the story to change. You are ready to say, I'm done. Take your rose-tinted glasses off. Take them off before you get to the workshop. Show up.
Yeah, just for 2 days, take them off and open your mind and be like, hey, I can. Because when I would hire coaches, I used to go in thinking they were going to save me. This will be the catalyst for my life to change. This is the reason my life is going to change. Oh my God, they're going to save me. They're going to show me something that I cannot figure out on my own. I look at it so much differently now. When I hire somebody, I'm like, bro, I'm hiring you to be a collaborator of my life. I am giving you money because you're collaborating with me to help me figure something out. I hold myself to a higher standard now. Come into that workshop, like channeling that. Come into this workshop, channeling that energy.
I've worked with personal trainers, and that's how I feel about it. Sometimes I work with a pickleball coach because he's going to help me collaborate on what I'm doing in my game. That he's not saving me. He's watching my game and being like, I think you do
right.
this.
I mean, what a perfect example. Like a pickleball coach, he could show you how to hold the racket and how to move your body and how to hit the ball for, a million hours. If you don't practice and you don't do it, you're never going to learn. You're never going to be good at it. I would love to sit here and be like, this is the workshop that you need to change your life. I hope this workshop does change your life. But what I would rather is you come in and go, I'm going to soak up some knowledge and information about how I can shift in my daily practice of how I present my energy out to the world, of how I lead myself in dating, because we all have to do that if we want a successful relationship.
Yes, we do hope people change, but we can't promise we are going to change their whole world. In fact, I do think about how when I hired you, I was like, in fact, I'm not sure you're going to change anything because I don't agree with you. And that literally was perfect. I was very open-minded, though, because I was like, why do I keep thinking about the videos she's making on Instagram, right? Because obviously it was the antithesis of how I handled life. But I was open-minded coming in. People. Actually, that's what makes you a really good coach. That's why your message is resonating with so many people, and then your coaching actually changes lives.
I just push back on narratives that don't fucking work. I mean, there's so much psychology bullshit out there that's just like, just get over it. Move on. Move on. Let it go. I mean, I work with people who get obsessed, limerence, rumination, like just stuck energetically on one person. If we could just turn it off, we would.
I know. And then, so you really do work with people on that. And then I come in and I work with, well, what are you actually feeling in your body right now that makes this the right move? Is it the right move? Check in with yourself. How are you progressing in ways you want to progress? And I do that in relationship. Like that is where I come in and I look at how couples are evolving and how relationships are evolving. Sometimes I've been really lucky where I get to meet someone on the beginning of their dating journey of like, I'm starting a dating profile all the way through to we're engaged now. Literally, they both become clients and then they get engaged. And I'm like, that fills my cup. But it's every aspect of it, even like sometimes breakups. Do you get a lot of people who are just going through a breakup now and they're like, I can't start again, or I don't want to go through it again? Or are you mostly working with people who are ready to date?
No, I'm typically working with somebody who's like stuck on another person for what they would think is longer than they expected or longer than they would have liked to. And they're trying to let it go. That's my journey too. It was what the hell? I mean, like I said, 4 years, but my whole life fell apart in that 4 years. So what I had to look at was like how I'm operating, like what breakdowns are happening, what is falling out of my life, because most things fell out of my life. And I think that's when we're really stuck in that like obsession and we can't let go. It's the universe trying to show us how to level up.
Yeah,
and we're not paying attention to it.
I was the typical client then, the person who showed up obsessed and was like, I don't know why I'm still like this about this person.
I feel like it's a collective movement. I feel like it's happening so that we can all start opening our eyes. I feel like that's going on in a lot of different places in the world.
Yeah.
In society. But to your point, it's like day one is going to be the internal stuff. And then day two is going to be more external stuff. How do I lead myself internally so that I can lead myself externally?
And hold true to it.
And hold true to it. How do I not lose myself when I step out? Because if you don't know what's going on internally, you will lose yourself.
I'm rolling my eyes because it's so true. That if you don't
so
know,
easy.
I'm rolling my eyes because I'm just thinking like, yes, it's a pattern I've fallen into. It is a pattern I help people with, losing ourselves. I think society is also sometimes, I'm not trying to blame everyone else, right? But society does set yourself up to like, just lose yourself, go along to get along. And that fails you in relationship. And I think that's part of the reason we are ending up here. So if you are ready to, I always say step off the carousel. Step off all of the things like I was thinking, oh, I need to focus on going to the gym, et cetera, and just get over it. It's like that wasn't the answer for me or most people.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, one of my favorite taglines in my brand is it's not the action, it's the energy behind the action. You can be going to the gym and it can be super fucking productive. And you can be going to the gym and it can just be masking all your pain, trying to force it away. You have to check your energy behind your action.
I agree. And that is just the way I naturally live my life. Well, now, you know, the self-improvement journey sends you there. Very simply put, this is about women who are ready to start choosing themselves to get to what is still obviously their goal of meeting somebody else. And our entire point is that does not happen until you start choosing yourself.
Yeah. Stop trying to get picked and start choosing yourself.
Pick me energy. That is.
Pick me energy is so fucking out.
I'm over it. It's done. Pick me energy. It is. I feel it did have a moment of like people, us putting ourselves forward to be chosen.
That's what our 20s were for, the pick me energy.
You're right. Oh my gosh. All right, so stop dating like a 20-year-old. Pick me energy is out. One of the realizations I think we've come to is the fact that people talk about what they're looking for in a way that is like, I want this, this, and this. And cherry picking isn't the problem. It's when we choose what we want and we like put it under one very niche title, like I want a lawyer, or in my case, I'm looking for a dom. It was surface level to say I'm looking for a dom. I don't know. Do you see that with people you talk to? Do you have any of those versions for yourself?
Yeah, for sure. And also, I think the main thing, because I don't identify as a sub, even though the more I get to know you and I talk to you about these things, I'm like, oh, yes, I am. But I think we're all looking, as women who want to be in a heterosexual relationship, I think so many of us are looking for that dominant keyword energy. Being a dom isn't about a physical thing. It's about the way you feel when you're with that person.
Bingo.
And if you're a vanilla girly who identifies as just like vanilla sex and you're not spicy, you want a grounded masculine man. That's what many of us want. That's an energy, not a physical thing that you do. It's who you are. You feel it more. If somebody's a really good dom in the bedroom, then they're probably a really safe place when you're not in the bedroom.
And it's that safety everybody is seeking, that I don't want to make all the decisions. I don't want to carry it all by myself. I want to share this with someone. And I think that's why that dominant aspect is so desirable among women across the board. Whether you identify as kinky or not, it doesn't exactly matter. But that was one of the actual first things you taught me, was my need to find a dom was a little bit of a fantasy because I still needed a person underneath that dominant persona. And that shifted my perspective more than anything. I think that changed how I do business. It changed how I work with my own clients. It changed so much that within a month of you helping me internalize that and shift my perspective, I met a dominant man, but that was not his top billing. What his top billing was he was a good, grounded person who I felt safe with. And in that, I could enjoy the bedroom life. So I was looking for things in the wrong order.
It's really hard to feel safe in the bedroom. If not, dare I say impossible, and I have the term limitless in my content, in my coaching, in my teaching. I don't want to put limits on anybody, but it is damn near impossible, especially as women, to feel safe getting naked with somebody and have somebody be in that physical space with us if they are not a safe place energetically outside of the bedroom. And so we lose sight of that because we do get caught up in the fantasy, and it's like, oh my God, this sex would be so good if it were like this, or if it were like that, or if he could do these things. But what we forget is like, oh wait, there's a way that I already feel going into those situations, and we neglect that, we forget, and that's how we lose ourselves, and we shrink, and then we show up and we're like, well damn, those physical things kind of happen and I still don't feel satisfied. Yeah, because you forgot about yourself.
It's so confusing though, right? Because
totally.
You're still grappling with the fact that like, but no, this is what I said I've been wanting, or this is what I'm supposed to want. And then the idea that, okay, but it doesn't feel aligned and I'm not feeling safe, that safety piece of it, I don't even think it definitely didn't come into my consciousness. It was just a misalignment that I was feeling, and it was making me feel anxious. Mm-hmm. And I'm not generally an anxious person. What's obvious for me is I do shift out of my own energy when I'm with the wrong person. Hindsight is 20/20, but going through the process, working with you, understanding what made someone safe for me to be with, and just having the understanding of kink behind that and what I'm good at holding my own boundaries in relationship. That dating phase is tough because I want everyone to be in the role of like my perfect dom, and I'm willing to miscast just to have someone in the role of my dom.
To that point, it's so easy to get caught up in that. It's like, I do it. Oh my God, I found him. He's totally perfect for this part, when I have zero idea who the fuck he is. But it's like, we have the role, we have the scene playing out, and we have the role, and then instead of like observing and being like, oh my God, I have a part that I think you'd be perfect for, let's continue to play with that, we automatically go into this knowing of like, yes, found him, got him, put him in there, shove him in the dream bubble. And this is how we fuck ourselves over. And
it happens in the dom world. I see how it happens to women, especially when they're searching for a dominant who fits the bill. They're into, oh, we have the same kinks. They're into bondage. They're into XYZ. I have fallen into that like loop as well. But it's so much deeper than that. So what? You can go to a party specifically for any specific type of kink you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
You could go to a networking event for lawyers or doctors and show up and meet a room full of people that fit the bill of what we're saying casting. But that energetic connection, you don't want to change who you are just to match who they are so that you get that end goal, because it's only half fulfilling.
Yeah, and I'd say it's probably even less than that. We forget to look. What we think is good shows up outside of us, and then we forget to check in with ourselves.
Yes.
We forget to trust the process. When you were saying, you can have somebody who has the same kinks as you, but there's a difference between like, let's talk about kinks. Like, we match with kinks and I feel safe with him being in that role of that kink. Because like, you can have somebody tie you up, but there's a difference in like, I feel safe being tied up by this person. There's a consent that we forget that we need to give ourselves before we give it to somebody else.
I know. And sometimes we're just so excited that we found the thing. That we allow ourselves to feel a little bit like, well, it's okay that they don't text me all the time, or it's okay that we don't have the communication I want. What's more important to me in this moment is that we have this, and we fool ourselves into thinking those other parts are going to grow. And while growth can happen within a relationship, I do not think someone is just going to start showing up without the communication. And what do you need for communication? Both people to show up in the first place and start talking things through. Communicating needs, desires, boundaries, and you need to feel sure of yourself. You need to not abandon yourself in order to do those things.
It's the hardest thing in the world. I mean, we were just talking about this off camera. Is like, I just said, I'm like, I didn't even know I was shrinking myself. I didn't know I was playing the cool girl. I didn't know I was abandoning myself. Sometimes you don't know, and that is why it's so important to like be able to hold that excitement. This is what I've learned, because I'm an over-the-top excitement girly. Like, when I find somebody that I like, I'm like, fuck yeah, 10 out of 10, let's go. Can't wait to have sex with this person. Like, it's going to be the best ever. And then we're going to get married and everything's going to... Never once has it even remotely come close to playing out like that. What I realized I couldn't do, my excitement wasn't the problem. It's that I couldn't actually hold space for my excitement without projecting that onto somebody else. So I would have this excitement and I would go, oh my God, my excitement is your problem now, and you have to be exactly what I want because you feel my excitement, and if you're not who I want, my excitement's going to go away and that's going to make me sad, and then I'm going to make that your fucking problem. You don't realize that when you're in it, but you've got to be able to recognize, oh, I'm really excited about something that just showed up in my life, how do I step back, hold the excitement, but allow this process to play out so I can observe and figure out if this is actually right for me.
That's the formula.
It's hard.
And we're not trying to deny that it's hard, all right? But that is the formula that we have sat down and worked out through both of our coaching approaches to help people understand this is the path you go down. This is the formula. You find this authentic version for yourself, and this is your path to meeting someone or being in the right place to let someone in and see the real you. Because Kristen, our versions, by the way, of the cool girl are different. Yours is very much like, oh, I'm getting excited and I'm going to put that on you. Whereas for me, I'm like, you are not going to see my excitement at all. I am cool, calm, collected, and I'm too cool for school. So you don't get to see the vulnerable version of me that shares their excitement.
Yeah, it's so interesting though, because it's the same shit that manifests in different ways. Because me being the over-the-top excited girl, and I'm usually like, you know, my thing is like, I want to say like bar games or like backyard games. Like that's how I'm cool, because I'm very competitive, and that'll show up in like, I'll be the best cornhole partner that you've ever seen, and we'll win all the games, and you'll fall in love with me because of that. But it's like, at the end of it, it's what you said, like there's a lack of vulnerability. Like it's a front. It's not that it's fake, it's just it's masking something that is desperately needed for a relationship to thrive. So that's why it doesn't feel that inauthentic, and that's why you might not know, I didn't even realize I was shrinking, because it's really just masking something deeper.
It's not even really a version of shrinking, it's just putting a different mask on, because we don't actually become smaller, especially in that dating phase. It's not a nefarious thing, it's just sort of a like, love this version of me, fall in love with this version of me, and we're projecting what we think the version they want is, as opposed to thinking, who am I? Who am I showing as myself? How do I show the most authentic version? And I want people to be excited about who they are and getting to show someone that version of themselves and having that person fall for them and be just as excited about them because they're being their real selves.
All these versions, all of them, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the in-between. And I think in your case, and just, you know, knowing what I know about my own sexual history, like, it is so easy to be like, look at me, I'm submissive. Yeah. I don't identify as that, but it's like, in your world, it's like, I'm so submissive, he's going to think I'm so cool because I'm going to be the best sub ever. It's not that it's fake. It's just that it's not the depth that you want it to be yet. And we mistake this feeling and this chemistry and this one version that aligns with one version of them, the whole picture. Yeah. And it's just not. It's just not.
Chris and I have been having these conversations for like nearly a year, right? And I think that the formula is the important piece to it. Of here is who you are outside a relationship, getting into relationship, and being in relationship. And here's how to stay true to yourself and not put that mask on, because I know the mask feels safe. And that's why we keep going back to that pattern.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why you like being competitive. I am in real life too competitive, so I literally can't play bar games with people because they can't see that version of me yet.
We're hiding different versions of ourselves. But to be honest, like, that's so normal. And that's the process that you have to trust, because there are what looks the same maybe in a version of you as it does in me. The behind the scenes is like, I'm afraid to show this version to people. Whereas I'm comfortable being like, look at this version of me. I love this version of me. This is my leading version. This is my first impression version. But you're like, no, this is my 10th impression version. This is why it's so important to get to know yourself and to trust that along the stages of a relationship, as you're building, like, these different versions will come out. And what I think what's also important is that's what's also happening with them. There's versions of this other person, this man, in most of our cases, he has versions of him that he's like, I don't want you to see this version of me yet. I'm also leading with my best version. So
and that's...
Trust the process. Oh, trust the process. TTP.
Yes. So we took this process, this formula, and we've created a whole workshop around it. 2 days, one day with Kristen, one day with me, but we're both there being supportive coaches. And we're here to help women live their hot girl summer and make this be their last single hot girl summer.
Hopefully. I would love that. Oh my God, I would love that for everybody. I would love that for me. This is it.
I'm so excited to help women get to go on the journey you took me on, and then to bring my expertise to it as well, so that we've just combined forces here to give people the experience, the understanding of who they are that has helped us on our journey.
What you want is allowed to be what you want, but I want to help you become the woman who knows how to walk through life holding that desire without losing your fucking mind when you think it shows up.
And that is exactly where we align. We are on a joint mission right now to make that happen.
What I think our main goal to give the women in this workshop is a practice. We're not just going to tell you shit. We want to give you something tangible that you can have, metaphorically hold, and become, because that's what it takes. To manifest something new, you have to practice. You got to reprogram. You got to become a new identity. You have to level up your whole persona into being what you actually want, and that takes practice. So I think that's like our main goal. When women walk away from this workshop, it's like, I have this practice that I get to take with me now.
We want women who are ready to work on themselves and are ready to make a change, because that's how you actually change. You decide you are ready and you start by stepping up. We are looking for women at that stage, ready to make the change, willing to explore within themselves, and who want the tools and are willing. A big thing for me is, if you want to do this and then sit on your couch and never go out and not put yourself out there to meet, you can do that. You can come to this workshop, but it's the actual going out and applying this in the real world. Even if you're not ready to date yet, it's not about just meeting someone. It's the choosing yourself and applying that day to day. You got to be ready to do that. I cannot wait to help women step into this new version of themselves, because you helped me do that. And now we get to do that together and help them all the way. So you can sign up to join this workshop at amandadames.com/hotgirlenergy. We want to see you there. We want you to experience the feeling of choosing yourself and finding your person in the process, because the first person you find is yourself. We will see you August 6th and 7th from 2 to 3:30. If you are not able to make either of those, we still want you to sign up. We will be sending a recording after. Obviously, if you show up live, you will be able to interactively ask questions, and so much of this is going to be driven by you and what you're facing. We are going to be giving you real-time information that actually fits your current scenario. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with anyone who might find it interesting. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, feel free to reach out. Email info@thekinkconsultant.com. Until next time, keep on kinking on.